Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel. If you're watching this on replay, my name is Henry, and today we're talking all about the Final Destination 6 trailer. There is so much to talk about, so much to break down, so much to get into, and I'm sure we're going to discuss it here in the next hour or so, but whatever you want to talk about, throw it in the chat or throw it in the comments, and we'll get right on to it. It's going to be fun. We got Film Fanatic News hanging out with us saying, sup, chat, you can attend a stream now. I got real tripped up on that word. What's up? Welcome in, my friend. Thank you for attending. I appreciate it. Thanks for participating in this insanity that is this stream right now. I saw the trailer, says RJ Skarenki, and I liked it a lot. So excited. Only 2 shots of our boy Tony Todd. The only thing that was sketchy to me in this trailer was the song choice. It didn't seem right. Okay, I hear you on that. I hear you on not loving the song choice. I don't hate that. I do love seeing Tony Todd, though. I'll tell you what. I'm glad that they didn't show him too much. I'm sure it's just like a scene or two that he's in this movie, kind of similar to his other appearances, right, in the rest of the Final Destination franchise. But I'm hyped, man. I'm so hyped for this movie. I like audibly was like yes, like that when Tony Todd was on screen. I was like, I heard the voice. I don't think you don't see him at first, and I'm just like, yes, let's go. I was celebrating alone in my room, like the dork that I am, but I was so happy. Rest in peace to the Candyman. We love Tony so much. I can't wait to see him in this movie here. Billy Boy is saying, "What's up, Jake?" Do you think the profile? What do you think of the profile change? God, words are really hard today. I thought I'd make it me at the gym because I'm a gym rat. Hell yeah, dog. Rock on. Right, hang on. Let me get my old man eyes, real close to the screen and see what this is all about. Yeah, okay. I see I'm like, it just looks black and white from a distance, but I see you doing the weights. Nice. Good stuff, Billy Boy. Getting some gains going. I gotta be inspired by you, Billy Boy, and actually make it out to the gym sometime. I've been making it out to the theater, and that's been great. You know, you got to support original movies here. It's a big thing around this page. But getting out to the gym also very important. You know, also very important to take care of yourself like that. So that's awesome, Billy Boy. Very good stuff there. Madison Kazmarski is hanging out with us, one of our beloved mods. She's pretty cute, too. I guess I like her a little bit. What's up, Madison? How's it going? Hello, Poop Lady. How are you? Thanks for being a member. Thanks for modding tonight. Her and I are going to be playing Repo tonight, by the way, in like a little over an hour. So it's 7:30. I'm so excited. This game is a ton of fun to play live on stream. It is it's if you saw the last stream where we were playing it, it is so chaotic. There's a lot of screaming and jump scares. So if you're into that kind of thing, stop on by the stream tonight over on GullGotha. That is my gaming channel. So we're going to be doing that right after this. We're doing this stream. We're bouncing over to GullGotha. It's going to be a really fun little afternoon for streams. Miguel Ariza, hello. I saw the Terra. You saw the Terra. Is there someone? I actually do not know the Final Destination Bloodlines characters' names. So if one of them is Terra, then I don't know. Sounds like they're taking a page out of the new Scream movies, is what it sounds like to me. The Zekramizder? What is going on there? What's up, the Z? How you doing? Anyone else paused the movie at Alex's death page? It was quite interesting. I am going to be talking about that a bit in a new video coming out later this week. I've already had some requests for that. I've already had some requests about that from people who are like, dude, you got to talk. And I'm like, okay, I'll talk about it. That's cool. That's some sick shit right there. But yeah, it does seem like Alex is dead, which is a shame. Would love to see him come back. I think Devon Sawa just brought a lot to that first movie. That's a character I wish we could see come back to this franchise. Coop is saying this movie looks awesome. Can't wait for its release. I agree. Welcome in, Coop. Samantha Robinson. Hey, Jake, trailer looks awesome. Hell yeah, I agree, Samantha. I was hyped up about this one. Tori saying, what's up? How's it going, Tori? What's up? What's up? Welcome in. I see we have some scary movie fans in here. You're charging everything right now so that hopefully nothing dies during the stream. Madison is gearing up for that repo stream. That's going to be fun. Aim Punched is saying, hey, Jake. Hello, Aim Punched. Welcome in. Michael Parton throwing $2 out there. Thank you for the support, my friend. I really appreciate that. Hey, Jake, you think they're already making a Final Destination 7? I would not be shocked if that was already in the brains of the creatives behind this one. You know, again, harping back to my video yesterday, it's crazy how much shit like it was prevalent in the trailer. Like that was actually so bizarre that that I was like, oh, I was right. I don't know. I was going into that trailer expecting to be wrong, and here we are. But they're saying like almost the same thing I was saying in my video on Monday in the trailer. I swear to God, I knew nothing going into that. That was just a theory, just looking up things. I was just wanted to put something together because I knew the trailer was coming out this week. Weird coincidence, man. Crazy stuff. You never know what's going to happen. But the one thing that I think is another element to that video that is absolutely ringing true. They totally want to make another Final Destination after this. You know, look at what's going on with Scream, right? Scream had Scream 5 in 2022 and it made 140 million, which is really good for that franchise. But then the next one comes out and makes even more money. I mean, what wasn't it close to like 170 million if I'm not mistaken? Sure, it had a bigger budget, but that profit's crazy. And now we have Scream 7 coming out next year, and it's probably going to make even more. I wouldn't be shocked. So I imagine Final Destination wants to get in on some of that. So yes, I totally can see a new Final Destination trilogy coming, especially if this one is good. And I really have no notes. I mean, I've seen some people have some pretty fair complaints about the trailer. We just had someone talking about they didn't like the song choice, which is fair, but in terms of quality of the movie, this looks like it could be one of the best Final Destination sequels out there. I'm just going to be real. I think early prediction, I think it's going to be my second favorite sequel in the entire franchise. It might be a hot take, but I'm calling it now. We'll see. You know, we'll see when the movie actually does come out. But that's good. That's a early prediction for you. Something a little hot and toasty to talk about there. But yes, Final Destination 7, Michael, I totally see that being in the works, especially if this one does well, which they're putting a lot of beans in this basket. I see it doing well. I see it doing good. Red and Blue Studios is saying Final Destination 3 is so underrated, no one gives it enough praise, and I hope FD6 is similar. You know, I like Final Destination 3. I agree. I think that I get it. I get the criticisms with that one, but you have Mary Elizabeth Winstead leading this one. She's excellent. I think she's one of the better characters in the entire franchise. Definitely a big standout in terms of performances. Are the kills the best in 3? I think that's kind of where a lot of the criticism comes from. But that doesn't mean Final Destination 3 doesn't have any good kills. Dude, that hot tub, not the hot tub. I'm thinking of something else. The what is it? The tanning beds. Oh my God. That's what, like, top 5 favorite kills from this franchise. Easy. And you know, the cherry on top for that one is the match cut where they're burning in the beds and they're like freaking out trying to escape, and it cuts to both of their funerals with the coffins right next to each other. Dude, that is like dark humor at its best. I love that. Oh, so good. So I'm all about. I love Final Destination 3. I think that one's really fun. Who else is with us? We got Pretty Kitty saying, "Sup, buddy? Sup, Kitty? How's it going? Welcome in." Tori is saying, "Rest in peace to the legend Tony Todd." Yes, this is going to be I think this is going to be a sad movie for that reason, honestly. Think we're going to be kind of bummed out watching this one. But like in a good way, you know, it's like there he is. There's Tony being amazing like he always is. Such a consistent performer, man. He's in a ton of horror movies, like not just Candyman and Final Destination. He's in a bunch of stuff. And I just feel like he elevates every single project that he's in, even like the not as great ones, admittedly, you know. I don't know. Anytime I see Tony Todd in something, I always tend to be magnetized by his performance. It's always something that just lifts up whatever he's in, and it always makes it for the better. So it's crucial that he was in this flick for sure. We got NRU Cody, one of our members, hanging out with us, saying, "Howdy, Jake and Madison and chat. Loved the new trailer for Bloodlines. Not too many kills, just how I liked the trailer, and loved how they paid homage to Final Destination with a car scene. Epic." Yes, I totally agree. They cut away before like all of the kills too, which was like, again, just perfection. They teased a bunch of stuff, which was awesome, but they also didn't show us too much, I feel. It was just the right balance, in my opinion. Loved it. So a lot of great stuff there. What else is going on? Hey, Jake, hope you're well. Unsure if you saw, but I'm currently coming up with a new Scream movie idea where the lead is a serial killer being targeted by Ghostface. Hype for Final Destination. Rock on. Yes. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. I like that idea. That's fun. Scream movie idea where the lead is a serial killer being targeted by Ghostface. We kind of played around with something similar, as you might know on the page a little while ago. I love that idea. I love the idea of two characters who aren't necessarily good fighting each other, kind of duking it out a little bit. Saw X, I feel like, is a great example of that. I love that movie to death. I just rewatched it after all the weird Saw news we've been getting. I might put up in between. I'm working on a big Final Destination theory because, wow, thank you guys for the views. That theory video from yesterday is popping off. I am so thankful for you guys for watching that one. And I'm putting another big theory video together for later on this week, but I'm thinking about doing a little update on all the Saw 11 stuff that's come out just in the past 2 days. Billy the Puppet has put out a statement. He's heard all the diss tracks from the horror outlets, and his posted his response saying, "No, my movie's still coming out. Damn it, the games are not over." And I'm interested to find out what that means, because Saw 11 has been taken off of the release schedule, which is again conflicting reports here. I think Billy the Puppet might be lying to us. I don't know, but we're gonna be talking about it maybe in a little video tomorrow, and I'm kind of excited to get into that. So definitely want something else on Saw. Well, want to hear something positive specifically. Cody has been a member for 5 months. Cody, thank you for your support. Whoa, 5 months, that can't be right. Anyway, I paused. The only thing I saw in the book is the plane. Is that the same plane from Final Destination 1? Do you mean when you paused in the trailer today? Is that what you meant? Because you said on the book. Oh yeah, the book in the trailer. Yes. Okay. I misunderstood. Yeah, that is Flight 180. There's also, what is it? I think one of the trucks from the second movie's opening. There was something else too. There was Sean William Scott's character's death in there, I think, as well. I think there was a little page of that, and of course, I think there was something detailing Alex's death in it as well. So there's a bunch of stuff that the fans are picking apart, which I think is exciting. I'm saving that for another video, because like that's gonna be a whole thing. I knew that little section. When I first saw the trailer, I'm like, this is gonna be a whole thing. Like I can't wait for that. It's awesome. Exciting stuff. Who else is with us? We got Chrissy Elizabeth, aka Supernatural Kitty Cat. Hey everyone. Hello, Supernatural Kitty Cat. How are you? Can I call you Chrissy? What's up? Welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. We have so many cat-related names in the chat. I'm just realizing that. We have a Gory Tiger. We have Supernatural Kitty Cat and Pretty Kitty. This is crazy. So a lot of cool cats out there tonight. I love it. I love it. Lightning Ghost is quoting the trailer, saying the only way to escape death is to embrace it. Interesting. So accept death and then you won't die. Maybe. I don't know. We're going to find out though soon. I'm excited. Semp is saying, yo, what's up, Semp? How's it going? Welcome in. Not Simp, Semp. Ricochet plays. Final Destination is a series I have always wanted to watch, but I am semi-afraid of horror movies, but seeing how it's more of a dark comedy, I think I can get behind it. You know, that is the thing about these. Some of the kills, hard to watch. Some of them, very silly. The Final Destination, I think, is borderline a comedy. So like realistically, I think you could laugh that one off. But some of the other ones I think do have painful moments. I mean, we saw just in the trailer today that dude stepping on the glass. Oh my God. I was like, nope. Listen, like every horror movie has done that for the last like 5-6 years. It works every time. That's why they do it. What is it? The Strangers Chapter 1, Ready or Not, X. Something else just did it too, besides Final Destination. I'm trying to remember what it is. But like every movie has had a scene where like there's a nail or a shard of glass or something. And A Quiet Place. That's what it was. I'm like, I know there's something else. And someone goes and steps on it and you see it happening before it happens. Oh God, it works every time. It's like a kick in the nuts in comedy. It's always funny. I don't care what anyone says. Or farts. I think farts are a better example. Farts are always funny. But yeah, I think you can... It's not like Saw. Like it's not as hard to watch as something like Saw is. So you can definitely, I think you can get into this series pretty easily. Joe Bedgret is, what's up? How's it going? Saying, can you kill someone so they take your spot? What? Oh, you mean in the movie? Okay. I was getting scared there for a second. I think that they're going by the rules of Final Destination 2, where it's like if you're bleh, and then you're resuscitated. I can't say that word on here, but I think you might get into what I'm talking about there. That is the only way to cheat death, like the flatliners thing, kind of, and then I can't say it. I want to say it because I'm like frustrated. I feel like someone's not getting it, but Final Destination 2's ending, that's how those characters survived. And I feel like we're staying consistent with that here. Bobby, who is a member with a bunch of spaces between the letters. How's it going, Bobby? Jake, I'm a delivery driver in your lives. Save me every day. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you for the hard work, my friend. Thanks for delivering stuff to people all around wherever you are, Bobby. I appreciate you for doing that. Because I'll tell you what, there are some nights when I get done with all this and I typically work from very early in the morning to late at night. I have like a break, like a couple hour break right in the middle of the day, which was so nice today. say. But like I'll get done at 11:30 sometimes, and I'm like, I just need some Postmates, some Uber Eats, you know, like something's got to get over here, man. And I'm very thankful for the delivery drivers out there. So thank you for all your hard work, my friend. Thanks for being a member too. Appreciate you. Chase from Moser Movie Reviews is here saying, hey, yo, what's up? Remboido Flores is saying, Tony, hey, what's up, Remboido? How's it going? Welcome in. That's me, Tony. KillJoy Tony. Ty Lee is a member. What's up, Ty? How's it going? Ty's been with us for a very long time. He's awesome. Ty is saying, I bet someone will consume glass. That's too good to tease. Wait, you know what? I think that is really brutal. We got to see a little taste of that in the most recent Evil Dead film. That was so upsetting. Ugh. Swallowing glass. That just sounds like a fate worse than death. I think I'd rather just no. Rather it just all be over than have to go through that. That sounds terrible. Or pooping out glass. We haven't seen that yet. Or have we? I don't know. You know what? Maybe that's in a movie somewhere. If not, someone put that in a film. That's crazy. The trailer maybe showed a bit too much of that segment, but I'm sure there's more to it. Oh yeah, our barbecue scene, right? I agree. You know what? I don't think it showed. I think it maybe detailed like all that's going to happen in that scene in particular. But I feel like most of the deaths we haven't even gotten a taste of what they're going to be yet, which is great. I'm all about that. I think that's going to be one of the strongest parts of this thing is just the way that they're marketing it. I feel like we're going into this slightly blind. Like I think we know about like the two bigger scenes of this film, which is I think the barbecue and the premonition that happens way back with the big old skyscraper thing. I keep calling it a skyscraper, but it looks more like the needle in Seattle. You know what's that thing called? Sky Needle. That's not right. There's no way that's right. but that big old thing, you know, it kind of looks like that, like a revolving restaurant. If you guys have ever been to one of those, crazy. But yeah, I think those are the two scenes that were like probably detailed the most. We got little bits and pieces of some other stuff too, but I still feel like we haven't seen most of the deaths in these flicks. You got to remember, Final Destination, most of these characters are probably going to die. That's just how these movies flow, and I love it. Reign of Horror is with us saying, hey everyone, hope all is well. Same to you, my friend. Thanks for being here. What's that possession movie with the girls at the private school? Is that Blackcoat's daughter? Is that what you're thinking of maybe? Perhaps, perchance. West Side is saying, I think this movie will be the bloodiest because Death is pissed, not pulling any punches. He's had to wait a long time for this kill. You know, I mean, it's been, what was the last one, 2011 or it was early 2010s, right? When was Final Destination 5? I want to say 2011. I'm confidently saying that. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. We'll see. Madison is saying someone consuming glass by accident has actually happened. Someone was using a glass reusable straw and a little bit chipped off and down the hatch it went. Gah! I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Chrissy is saying, hey, KillJoy Jake. Yes, of course. Love your videos. Thank you, Chrissy. I like your cat-inspired name. I have 2 cats myself, and I love them a ton. I am going to catch up in the chat here in a second, but I see a few new folks that I want to say hi to, like Smokey with a devil profile picture. Love it. Saying that trailer, though, movie looks so good. Really excited to see how they tie everything together and if there's any other twists we aren't seeing in the trailer itself. Me too. I'm really excited for this one, Smokey. That trailer was way stronger than I thought it was going to be, so that was sick. Lighting Ghost is with us as well, saying Evil Dead Rise had glass. You beat me to it. Lighting Ghost. I love it. Yeah, I that was sick with the eating the fucking glass thing or whatever. It's like, ugh, it's a mess. That's so fucked up. I love it. Carter is with us as well, saying I've also wanted to see someone to drink that glass from the trailer. Yeah, you know, honestly, I'm kind of glad it didn't go there. It was like more unexpected for someone to step on it. But yeah, there is a part of me. There's still a part of me that wants to see someone drink that piece of glass. That's fucked up. Kyle Gordon is saying after watching that trailer, I am so hyped. Can't wait to see how it ends. Hopefully with a continuation into 7. Rest in peace, Tony Todd. Yes. Very excited to see Tony back in this one. I can't wait. That is such a shame about Tony Todd, man. I don't know. It's such a bummer, really. I wish we could. I would kill for more Tony Todd performances, man. Wavy Thames is saying this Final Destination is going to be epic. Hell yes. I'm really excited for this one, man. Dev Envadur is saying, what's good, Jake? I'm just in a call with my friends. Turd, Pico, Abdabber, and Sega. That is that's a group chat if I've ever heard of one. I just love these names. I don't know if they're real or not, but I'm digging it either way. Do I think that Final Destination 6 will be the last movie? Absolutely not. No way. I ain't buying that. We're getting more of them. Come on now. I think I saw something about the comic Final Destination Spring Break that's coming from Zek. What's up, bro? The one with the premonition was also the representation of death on Earth. Would have the other characters with the premonitions could have been the same. Let me read that again. The one with the premonition was also the representation of death on Earth. Would have the characters with premonitions could have like all been the same is kind of what you're asking. I know that I don't know if it's that one or not, but I am working on a big video regarding a lot of the books, the comics and all that, and how they talk a little bit about death and how the premonitions like came about. There is actually a book that explains that. And I'm curious if Bloodlines will get into it. This is kind of a big focal point of what this next theory video is going to be about. There's like a ghost, supposedly. So like ghosts are a big factor, I guess, in one of the Final Destination books. And I'm really interested. I'm really interested to see if Bloodlines ties into that, especially because this new movie is clearly pulling things from that one novel we detailed in Monday's video. So I wouldn't be shocked if they took some more things and reinvented them like they're clearly doing for Bloodlines from the books. So I think that's absolutely possible that we're going to see some more things like that. Some more ideas that I think could explain more things in this universe. Again, I think my opinion overall is I just like when things are left ambiguous. I think it's scarier that way in horror. But I also understand why they might want to just give an explanation to fans as well. I get it from a studio perspective. You might want to just offer up something new in your upcoming film, right? That draws people in. But again, we'll see. We'll see what it's all about here in 6, and hopefully we get a 7 and an 8, right? I hope. I think that would be fun. What else is going on here? We got Unpaid Movie Critic is joining us, saying with the film The Strangers Chapter 2 taking the Saw 11 release date, I am hoping that they have something special planned for the sequel to make it better than the first film. I wish I had something for this, man, but I don't know. Here's what I do know about this one. They did have a chance to reshoot it. They had a lot of time to rethink the sequel and maybe make it stronger. And in all fairness, Final Destination Bloodlines is also in a very similar spot. This is a film that has been reworked, that it's very evident that was the case. This was originally a kind of like a play on like the pandemic and first responders. It was going to be the focal point of it. And now it's about something else entirely. It's about a family that's connecting all the other movies together. It's a totally different story and movie now. And maybe Strangers Chapter 2 could be the same. Maybe something good really happened with this one behind the scenes. They figured it out. They make a movie that's worth our time. We did, and again, giving them the benefit of the doubt, which I don't even think they deserve after Strangers Chapter 1. We did have Rennie Harlin come out before Chapter 1 came out, the director of all 3 of these films, and he said that Chapter 1, it's basically hitting on the same things you've already seen because we just want to establish this story. Once we get into Chapters 2 and Chapter 3, that's when the real fresh story kicks off. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said. And I knew that I wasn't going to like Chapter 1. I think going into it, I knew I wasn't going to like it. I don't like movies that just repeat something that's already been done. Chapter 1 quite literally just takes some of the coolest scenes from the previous 2 movies and just bundles them together in some messed up new amalgamation. And I'm not crazy about it at all. But could Chapter 2 be something special? Well, they've teased a hospital setting in that little teaser trailer we saw. Was it earlier this year or late last year? God, I don't even remember. I just have not been covering this one too closely. But I do remember that they had like a little teaser trailer come out, and it was essentially like teasing that we're going to find out who the strangers are in this next one. And I believe that's why the reshoots even happened in the first place, is that some pictures leaked online that kind of spoiled things. But it doesn't even matter what those were, because obviously things have changed now. But am I excited for Strangers Chapter 2? I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it's all about. Hopefully it's good. It's one of my favorite slasher franchises, so it does bum me out to see Chapter 1 not be so great. But maybe Chapters 2 and 3 can be better. Ricochet plays, what's up? I'm sorry, but swallowing glass sounds like the most awful way to go. Yeah, that's that, and being like caught on fire, like cooking alive, that also sounds terrible. Like, man, worst ways to die. Here we go. We're listing them out. These are awful. My chunky Jordy Gina has been a member for 21 months. That's crazy. Thank you for the support, Gina. That's almost 2 years there. Saying, wow, time goes so quickly. It has been a ton of fun talking horror with you guys for almost 6 years on this platform. I am just, I'm so lucky. I'm so grateful to have all this fun shit in my life. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for supporting it. Thanks for making it happen. It couldn't have happened without any of you, and especially you, Gina. Thank you for being a member for all this time. Really does mean a lot. Really, it means the world to me. Because of weeks like this, like I'm so glad that so many people are checking out the videos and hanging out with us tonight on stream. 100 people are here right now, so I don't think that I take any of it for granted. I am just genuinely so thankful for it all. So Gina, thank you for being a member for as long as you have. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's talk a little horror. Let's make it happen. Universal Disappointment saying Jake's theory video was so spot on. It's almost like he had a premonition. I think I did. I genuinely think I did. It's bizarre. It's so weird. I can't believe the main character even said something like word for word that I said in my video on Monday in the trailer, and I'm like, that is fucking weird, man. I think I might have a sixth sense that I don't know about. Infinite Sky is saying, how far into the movie do you think the Richard Harmon character's death will be? You know what? This is a really good question. I think pretty far in, actually. Well, no, I take that back. What does he say in the trailer? I just watched this today. He actually says, my dad just died and they have me locking up the store now. So I don't think I think I'm going to say like middle pack, like middle of the road. It's a second, third kill of the, third or fourth kill, I'm going to say, of the movie. Cause damn, I'm really not sure, because he's featured in a lot of the trailer, which is what's fucking me up. He's in a lot of different scenes. And then also he doesn't seem like too concerned. He doesn't feel like I never get the sense that he's like, oh, I'm going to die. No, he's like, oh, this sucks. A chain just grappled onto my nose ring. He's not freaking out about it until he's being lifted up and then fire catches all over the place. So he doesn't really seem like, oh no, it's happening to me now. It's happened to a bunch of people before. No, it's giving off a little more that he's shocked vibes here. So I'm gonna say like second or third kill. That's what I'm gonna think. That's maybe somewhat confidently saying that. Minor confidence. We have Christian Hayes saying, what year does this Final Destination happen? I think it's just modern. I think it's just like right now. And it is going to flashback too. I don't think we know that year quite yet, but it does look, it's giving me like 50s, like kind of looks like big band stuff. I'm guessing 50s, maybe 50s, early 60s. TRS is saying, hey Jake, hello TRS, how are you? Welcome in. Chris Nichols is saying, can't wait for this. Final Destination is a great franchise, apart from the fourth one. Thank you for making that clarification. No, I'm just kidding. Raven MC7 is saying, I'm curious who the rumored MRI kill is. I'm thinking the older Asian man. Okay, I definitely see how, like an older guy. Okay, that makes sense. I have heard this rumor before. I've yet to see anything that really supports it, but that is cool though. I will say a lot of the rumors that I've heard ended up coming true with today's trailer. I heard that there was going to be some sort of floating restaurants kill, and then there's also like a barbecue death as well. I did hear about a house fire, which we have yet to see though. So I don't know. Who knows what's going on in this movie? I think that's the exciting part about where we're at in covering a movie, not knowing anything and just making a bunch of fun guesses. Dead Channel hanging out with us. What's up, Dead Channel? I knew someone would die by a lawnmower sooner or later in the show. Well, there you go. You definitely have that here. That's without a doubt. It feels very much like that. Is it Saw 3D that has the upside down lawnmower trap where it's like the two characters have to like kick each other off of it? Kind of giving me similar vibes to that. Or I guess the monkey had a lawnmower death, very similar to this, which is interesting. Also a very similar movie too. The monkey is very Final Destination inspired. Anakin's anger management therapist is saying, yo, sorry I'm late, was playing MK1, might get Ghostface. That's sick, dude. I love it. I love Mortal Kombat is one of my favorite games. Man, that's like the best game to put on if you're just hanging out with like a couple of buddies or something, just going back and forth, having a tournament or something, ton of fun. Love that game to death. Anime Knight 89 is saying, seeing this trailer, it makes you wonder if those who the grandma saved were related to the victims of the 5 films. I think so. I 100% think so. I'm with you on that one, my friend. Twisted Penny is saying, I just found you today. Good content so far. Thank you. I'll continue to try as long as you're watching, Twisted Penny. The Zek is with us saying, now that I remember, the premonition in FD6 is the needle, right? It can also be a reference to the Final Destination book, Dead Man's Hand cover page. Ooh, I have not read anything about that book. Okay. Is there like a needle death in that? Let me know, Zach. I'm curious, because that might be something that comes up in a future video. That is absolutely something that's coming up. Very cool. Very, very cool. Shit. Who else is with us? Jake, if you could create a death, what would it be and how? Oh, that's such a good question. I'm trying to think of something that doesn't often get used in horror. Something that's really scary to me is concrete cutters. You guys ever see these things? It's basically like a glorified like buzzsaw or chainsaw. It's not as sharp, which I feel like is why it probably isn't as scary, but there's no way that thing's not cutting through a person, like that. Like, I could totally see that being used. I like off the top of my head, I don't think I can think of a time where that was used in a horror film. I'm sure someone can. I mean, there's no way that's never been used before. But I remember I was cutting concrete one time at an old job. I was like cutting it out, and I'm like, this would be a perfect weapon. How has no one used this in a horror movie? That's crazy. I've yet to see it. So, but maybe some of you have. I would love to see some like one of those just go rogue. Go rogue and take somebody out. That'd be crazy. What else is going on? Didn't FD2 say new death can be stopped with new life? I don't know if that's actually like the case here, because I think the whole thing, right? That's like the whole thing is that here's a whole family of people and they're still getting attacked. I think like the thing with Final Destination 2 was more so that like our characters like died and then they came back, right? That, at least I think that is obviously a big factor in Final Destination 2, but I feel like that's what they're going with here, Christian, to answer your question. I feel like they're sticking with that. Shouldn't the grandparents and parents have been the main targets if it's all connected? I think private information, I think what they're going with here is that they're saying that all these characters never should have existed because the grandma should have died a long time ago. She never should have grown old, should have died in our royalty-free Space Needle, as Christian is throwing in there. That's really funny. So my guess is that I think death is just going after literally everybody in the bloodline who shouldn't exist, which is a really heavy topic to deal with. And again, I think kind of flavors this Final Destination differently in a really positive way, because it's different and it's terrifying in a whole new way than we ever even thought. So I'm interested. I'm digging where this is going through the family angle personally. I know not everybody is. This is a page that typically hates on family angles in horror movies. I'm typically talking about the Scream franchise over here. And I oh man, those movies have got to chill out with the family connections, in my opinion. But it's cool in Final Destination. I feel like they don't do stuff like this too often. So this does feel different to me, and that has me excited. Sad Dad is saying this live is saving me from suffering at work. Well, that's good. That's wonderful to hear. That makes my day right there, my friend. So thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out, talking a little horror with us. Joseph Bagby is saying, can't wait till May 16th. I know it's only 7 weeks away from Friday, right? I think if my math is correct there, that's not too bad. I feel like we can get there. We can make it happen. We got some good horror movies on the way too. We got some really good releases coming up just in the next month or so. April, if I'm not mistaken, I'm kind of talking out of my ass here. We have Drop coming out next month. We have David Cronenberg's new movie coming out, which I'm really excited for both of those. There is another one. Is Finn Wolfhard's movie coming out next month, or is that May? Maybe. I can't remember. I think that one's coming out soon too. We have Woman in the Yard this week, I believe. But lots of good stuff. Lots of good stuff, Rudy. That was Joseph, actually. The next person, Rudy Woodward, what's up? So I'm not understanding the concept for this movie. Is this one going to be where the grandma had the premonition and then death is coming for the other family members because she survived, or is there going to be another premonition? Rudy, that's actually a great question. I'm guessing that the premonition in this movie is going to be the needle that happens way back when, maybe 50s, 60s time period. That's what it looks like to me, at least. And then in this movie, will we have a premonition? Well, here's some thoughts on this. Caitlin Santawana's character, who is she's like the younger girl that we're following through most of this trailer. If you go back and watch the barbecue scene in the trailer today, she's kind of looking around all weird, like what's happening here? Maybe like kind of dead and doesn't do anything. How interesting would that be? We've yet to see that happen in the franchise. Because technically this would still be a film where a premonition occurs and people are saved. But what if here it's a little different? It's like she has a premonition, or just her dad is going to die via lawnmower. And then she doesn't do anything about it. She's like, I just had something weird just happened. I don't even know what that was. And then bam, all that shit ends up does happening. Again, theory. That's a theory at best, is what that is. Maybe there's no premonition at all in this film in the modern times. We're just basing this off of something that happened a very long time ago, which again, I think would flavor this movie differently. But at the same time, it's kind of like not having an opening kill in Scream, right? You gotta do that. You gotta have an opening kill. I feel like that's something we're all looking forward to here. What's the opening premonition? What's the opening like mass death going to be in this one? It's a question that I hope is answered. I hope so. But again, maybe it's purposeful. Maybe it's just a way to structure this movie differently. We talked a little while ago about how Final Destination 6 might structure itself in a different way. This could be how they do that. Is that for the better or for the worse? It's honestly, Rudy, it's a great question as of right now. Wet Noodles 1367 is saying, you think they could go even further back in time than the 1800s? I remember you saying in one of the books, the first premonition happened in like the 1880s. Yeah, I mean, they could. They absolutely could. But what I will say about that is that we're doing another theory video at some point in the week. I'm working on it right now. We're at a spot where the Final Destination videos are doing really well. Very thankful for that, by the way. And I want to keep the quality top notch if we can. So I'm going to spend a couple of days on this one. But something else I found in my research is that the premonition that our character has in that book I detailed in my video on Monday specifically comes from a ghost of a character who can see the future. So I'm thinking about talking about that, as well as some other things from the trailer I want to break down after some more time being able to analyze it. Today's video is much more of like a first reaction. So I'm hoping to do that at some point later on this week. And maybe talk about the possibility of more premonitions going back in other movies. I'm again gonna die on this hill. I want to see Robert Eggers do an 1880s Final Destination movie. You can't tell me that wouldn't be awesome. I'm so into that. So I would love to see that at some point. Who else do we have any other newcomers hanging out with us? Simon Tamiki? What's up, Simon, I think. If I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, please let me know. I'm terrible with names, unfortunately. I think she is looking weird because she met Grandma before that barbecue, but didn't believe her at first. Ooh, okay, so the scene with Grandma happens before the barbecue, and then that shit happens to make her believe. That is a really good point, my friend. That would be a great story beat right there. I like that. I like that a lot. Very good point. Who else is with us? We got The Challenge saying, I wonder what triggers death to go after them now. What are your thoughts on the girl who had the premonition and her reaction? She didn't seem too panicked, but her hair blew in the wind. So something's up there. There wouldn't be any wind if... No, I'm just messing with you. Yeah, I don't... The young girl having a premonition, I feel like that's probably going to be the case. Unless what Simon is talking about is true. Maybe she just doesn't believe Grandma, saying like, oh... you're senile, Grandma. I don't know about death coming after us with a vengeance or something, and then shit happens to the dad, and it's like, what the fuck? Like that. There's no way that's a coincidence. So I'm kind of on the fence. I kind of like both. I like both angles. I like the idea of her not believing that anything's going on, and then shit starts happening all of a sudden. And I also like the idea of this character just having a premonition, and now she believes too. That could also be part of it. Joseph Bagby is saying, thank you for saying my name. Well, I just said it again. There you go. Thanks for being here. Thanks for stopping by, dude. Billy Boy is saying, Jake, don't just stare at it. Eat it. If you know what movie that's from, you get bonus points in the chat. Tommy John is saying still waiting for the 11/14 movie review. Tommy, did you change your name from another name? Because I think I know who this is. I actually had somebody send me to my old P.O. box a copy of a movie I'd never seen because they wanted me to watch it so badly. And it's very good. It is actually a very fun film. It's a non-linear story. 11/14. It's all about things that revolve around this time on a certain day, all these things that happen all at the same time, and it's really fucked up and crazy. It's a fun movie. But you know what? Maybe I'll do that for a review for one of my Patreon reviews because we've been doing just random movie reviews over there. That's been a lot of fun doing those every single week. I just put out a review of Ash for my top tier patrons, so definitely check that out if you guys have not seen it yet. And watch Ash in the theater. Seriously, that one is that's a good one. That's a really good one there. Sad Dad is asking about an opinion on the Drop movie. Are you looking forward to it? You know, I actually am. I'll be honest, when I saw that first trailer, I wasn't really all that hyped about it. It didn't really do much for me. Didn't really move the needle. It was like, I was watching it and I was just thinking to myself, this is a killer who uses airdrop, the airdrop killer. Like, man, I just feel like that's really gimmicky even for Christopher Landon. And I love Christopher Landon. Like, I really do love a lot of his movies, but this was just not really meshing with me the first time I saw that trailer. But then it premiered at not Sundance, what was it? South by Southwest, I believe. And it got rave reviews. Like, people were like, this rocks. This is so much fun. Really solid horror film. Big surprise coming out of one of the most recent film festivals. I think it was South by Southwest. Don't quote me on that. But apparently really good positive reaction, early reactions to this one. And I guess I am excited for it coming out in April. I love Christopher Landon. I think it is such a shame that he's not doing the new Scream movie. I'm really bummed out about that. So I do love a lot of his work though, and I'm excited to see what comes from him next. You know, well, hopefully this one's good. Hopefully it's another winner from him. And you know, say what you want about Hard Eyes. I had my criticisms of it personally, but I did think that it wasn't the worst horror movie that came out this year. It was still a lot of fun, and I had a good time with it. Loved the killer design, and then the kills themselves. So a lot of good stuff coming from Christopher this year, man. I hope Drop we can add to that equation. What is your favorite Final Destination film? I imagine you mean, dude. That's so tough. I think my answer just keeps going back and forth. Truly, I said 2 in the most recent video because I just rewatched a couple of the movies, and on rewatch 2 is probably my favorite. I think that's my favorite one to watch. I love the ending. Which is so sickening, but the ending of that movie is ridiculous. The barbecue, man, that's just okay. The reason I love Final Destination 2 so much is like you have a happier ending, which is very different than the first Final Destination, sort of. You know, you kind of have a happy ending, but not really. Final Destination 1 says, oh no, it wasn't happy after all. You know, there was still awful things that happened to these characters, and then Clear dies. But then you have characters who make it out alive. And then, you know, we got to end this movie, but we can't have it be too happy. You know what I mean? We got to have something awful happen. And the fucking barbecue, man. I mean, that's just so funny to me. You know, I think that's what a perfect way to end one of these films. But I for the longest time, I was saying that 5 was my favorite. And 5 impressed me so much the first time I saw it. I remember going into that one for the first time. I didn't see it in theaters or anything like that. I think I had seen, I was going through this entire franchise, I think for the first time. I think the only one I had seen was The Final Destination, the 4th film. Believe it or not, that was the only movie I had seen in this series. I went back, I watched 1 through 3, and I was like, these are good. These are really fun. You know, I skipped 4 because I knew what that one was all about. And I went right to 5, and I'm like, you know what? The 4th one wasn't very good. The 5th, nothing came after the 5th movie. You know, I'm going into the 5th one with very low expectations. I genuinely went into it blind. I knew nothing about it. And then there is one of the craziest twist endings in a franchise continuation I think I have ever seen in Final Destination 5, and my mind was blown. I was like, fuck. That is, you want to talk about just a sad and awful ending, dude. I'm like, oh my God, no way. I would even go so far as to argue that it's even more mean-spirited than Final Destination 2. Just because, like, the way it's shot, the way it plays out is just heartbreaking, man. Oh, I love the fifth Final Destination, man. That is such a good movie. So it really does. I think it's a shakeup between 2 and 5. I love the original, but it also does feel a little messy, in my opinion. I don't think they really had the idea down in the first film. You know what I mean? Like, I think 1 is still better than 3 and 4 in my opinion, but 1, it just feels like it's a little messier than the other ones. Not all the kills are set up in the same way that they do in the sequels. It's very similar to the original Saw. Like that, you know, you go back and you watch the original Saw and you're like, this is much more of like a crime drama thriller than it is a movie about like a bunch of outrageous traps and people trying to get out of them. Like, that's still an element to Saw, but like the sequels would expand upon it more and put so much more of a focus on it than the first film does. So I don't know. Final Destination 2 is what I'm going with right now, but God, I love Final Destination 5. It's so good. So good. Samantha is saying, Jake, we should do a collab Final Destination video when I launch my channel. Samantha, let me know. I'm always down. Always down. I really have not done any collaborations lately. I've just been so busy, and I think that's a bummer. that's a bummer. I love talking with people. I've actually been talking with the Splattercast guys recently, and I've been like, you guys got to get on the page sometime, man. It's been too long. We got to talk horror again. So more collaborations are coming, I promise. If you're hosting a horror movie night, what film are you putting on? Asks Brandon. That's such a great question, because I think I always try to tailor a film to what I think people are going to like that they maybe never seen. Whenever people ask, they're like, what should I watch, you know? I have some friends out in Colorado. Shout out to Marissa and James if they're watching. Probably not, but if they are, shout out to you. They always they'll every now and then they'll be like, hey, it's movie night. We need something to watch. What should we watch? And I'm like, oh, put this on. You know, you guys will love this. It's whatever weird new movie. Most recently, last fall, they asked me, they're like, hey, we need a new movie. What should we watch? And I'm like, The Substance. Just put on The Substance. It's brutal. It'll freak you out. It's awesome. And they loved it. They hated it, but they loved it. So yes, I always try to think of, like, I tend to know people in my lives' movie tastes, and I try to put on something that I think that they would like. Madison, though, who's in the chat right now, she is my girlfriend. She's wonderful. I do show her stuff a lot, and she does not end up liking it, which is a shame. So I've yet to crack that code entirely. But every now and then I show her something, and she's like, "Oh, that was really good," and I'm like, "Hell yeah, yes!" So every now and then we get something, but. Madison does not like a lot of my recommendations, which I think is very funny. Jake S is with us, love the name, saying Final Destination 4 being your introduction to the franchise is wild. Dude, it is. That was the movie that was really popular when I was first starting, like when I was like I think I was just like a tween or a teenager. So I was like kind of just getting into like really liking horror movies around that time. So I'm like, oh, the new Final Destination is out. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I think we all put it on at like a sleepover or something. And I'm like, this is bad, but it's so much fun. But thankfully I did go back through them and watched all those movies again. And yeah, they're great. This is such a great franchise. I'm so glad that it's coming back. What's my favorite Shining movie? Like, definitely the original, but Dr. Sleep is so good. Oh, it's so good. The original Final Destination 3 ending was so bleak that they were forced to change it. Isn't that kind of a great story, though? I mean, you know, say what you want about that ending, but that's wonderful. If you're forced to change your ending because it's just so awful, like that's amazing, in my opinion. That's an accomplishment as a writer. Where does Final Destination 6 fit in, asks Lewis. Well, technically, it's kind of bookending the franchise. It's before the events of the original, and it takes place during modern day as well. It kind of feels like it's gonna, like, everything else is sandwiched in between Final Destination 6, I think, which is really interesting. See, I say I think because I was going into Final Destination 5 expecting a film that takes place after the events of all 4 movies, but in fact I was totally wrong about that. It's actually before Final Destination 6 was the first movie. The prequel. It was a surprise prequel. If I'm spoiling that for anybody, I'm so sorry. Really good twist though. And the movie's like 14 years old, right? Riley Murray is saying, did you know that Final Destination was originally an X-Files episode script? You know, I feel like I've heard that before, but that is still so shocking, Riley. That's awesome. I'm glad that it didn't just turn into an X-Files episode, though. Like, I love the X-Files. Don't get me wrong. That theme song is iconic, but come on now. This is a great franchise. It's a perfect franchise. In fact, it's such a great idea for an ongoing series. Such a fun, it has such a fun flow to it. Like, I feel like I could just go through like 100 movies that feel like this. Do you think Kimberly will show up in Bloodlines? AJ Cook was rumored to be on set. I guess there's pictures floating around of her, like the cast and crew taking pictures with her. So I think so. Anything can happen. Chris Nichols is saying, hey, Jake, what's your favorite Final Destination opening and least favorite? 1 and 4 for me. Great choices, Chris. Man, I think 4 is my least favorite opening for sure. I think Final Destination 2's opening. I think that's what makes that my favorite Final Destination is the opening to 2 is just so strong. The opening to 5, admittedly, I don't think is. I think it's fine. It's all right. It's kind of if I had to rank all the openings to the films, I think I'd probably go 4, 5 at the bottom, and then maybe like 3, 1, 2 is how I'd rank them. 5's opening, it's not bad. It's just, again, very, just like the 4th film, very, very digitally reliant, where a lot of the stuff in, especially the first 2 films, are a mixture of practical and VFX. Where, 4 and 5 especially, well, 3, you can rope 3 into this one too, but it's so digital, just full on digital, full frontal digital. But I love the opening to 2 so much. It's iconic. I feel like everyone, even if you haven't seen Final Destination 2, you know about it. You know the log trucks. Like, if you know nothing about Final Destination, you know the log truck. You know what I mean? Like, it's purely iconic. What else is going on? Who else is with us tonight? Erica's throwing out the link to the gaming channel. We are going live over on the gaming channel to play some Repo right after this. So definitely stop on by. I can't stress this enough. This is one of the most fun. This is one of the most fun games I think I have truly ever played. And I'm so really hyped for you guys to check out this stream. I just heard someone say that the audio is buggy, and I'm kind of wondering if that's because of this or not. I just noticed this. Maybe that fixed it, maybe not. I'm looking at this cord and I'm like, it's a little unplugged. It's just a smidge, a pube hair, one might say, sticking out of there, which I don't like. Don't like that at all. Patton Jester is joining us. What's up, Patton? Saying, hey, Jake, I just got back from watching the Bloodlines trailer and your video on it. I seriously cannot wait for this one to come out. Same goes for 28 years later. Yes! Oh, you guys want to talk about good trailers, man. Whew. Final Destination Bloodlines. Don't get me wrong. Trailer rocked. Loved it. But favorite trailer I've ever covered on this page? 28 years later, baby. Whew! Goes hard. Goes hard. It goes stiff, in fact. I loved that trailer. The Boots, like, poem being read in the background. Ugh. I don't know. It's just so uncomfortable and creepy and apocalyptic. I loved it. Very exciting stuff there, though. Movie Mania Central. Got a criticism. Love this. Love to see these. It looked too glossy and colorful. 3C Films was right. I missed the dark aesthetic of the first couple of movies. Fair enough. It definitely looks a little more modern, than the more 90s or I guess more thousands feeling first couple of films, right? I hear you on that. I hear you on that one, Movie Mania. For sure, I do hear you on that. I have not seen Chris's video yet. I'm sure it's great though. He never misses. He's awesome. We love Chris around here, so I'm sure it's fantastic. I agree. I'm not gonna lie. The first 2 films definitely have an aesthetic and a vibe that I think the other 3 don't. That they do feel like different films to me in terms of tone, and this one does feel a little more in line tone wise with the latter 3 films. But I think 1 and 2 are probably always going to be some of my favorites from this franchise. But I love 5, and I think this one's going to be up there. This one's going to be sick. Lewis Scanlon is saying not horror related, but have you ever seen The Prestige? It is a very great movie, amazing twist, TBH. That is one of the only, I believe that's Christopher Nolan, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's one of the only Christopher Nolan movies I have not seen. I've seen like almost all of the other ones. I've seen Memento. I've seen all the Dark Knight movies, Oppenheimer. Actually, I haven't seen Tenet. I kind of have no interest in seeing Tenet. I've heard all the criticisms about it, and I'm like, I just don't think I'm going to like that movie. But I might still check it out. I don't know. I have not seen The Prestige though. I've seen Dunkirk. I know he has more movies than just that. I feel like he has like at least, I think I'm missing one. I think I'm missing like a big one. I just can't think of it. The opening to 2 will forever be my favorite, and 3. 3 has a special place in my heart because it scared the fuck out of me when I was a kid. And I've told this story on like every stream, but like when I was a smaller kid than I was when Final Destination 4 came out. And I remember seeing the roller coaster thing. That's how they marketed this one with that opening scene. And I was so scared. I'm like, I had to run to the kitchen where it couldn't hurt me. And it was so funny, man. I still think about that. It's hilarious. Chucky scared me back then though. So we were all kids scared of crazy things like that, though, at one point. Red and Blue Studios is saying, really dark idea for a Final Destination movie. A nurse saves a group of babies from a hospital fire due to a premonition, and the babies are hunted by death. Ultimate horror for first-time parents. Black comedy gold. That's so upsetting. Well, I mean, the babies can't do anything. Like, this is just about the nurse, like, having to go and save all the babies and maybe the parents and stuff. That is that is like almost so much of a swing that could just be an original movie. Like that, you don't even need to make that a Final Destination movie. It's just that would be so different than what we're used to. I don't hate that for a horror movie idea though, because I think that could be really interesting to see how parents would react to that. I think you could have so many different. There's a lot you could say with that. There's a lot of different situations you could create from a situation like that. Wow, that's thought provoking. Red and Blue Studios. It's fucked up, but it's interesting. You know. Okay. I kind of think that's messed up as hell, and that's why I like it. Pretty Kitty is saying, Jake, you have 7 days. The Rings. Can you dig it? 7. I have 7 days to live. Is that what you're saying? That's terrible. That's terrifying. What would I do in a Ring situation? I would definitely just make a copy. I'd be like, yeah, I don't care. Okay, Samara, here's a copy of your tape. Bye now. That would be it. Madison is reminding us that we do live by Cedar Point, so that's why we're terrified of roller coasters here in Ohio. I've never been to Six Flags. Yeah, I've actually never been to a Six Flags. We have Cedar Point here in Ohio, up in Sandusky, and that's where like everyone in Ohio and Michigan, those two areas, that's where we go. That's like the roller coaster place to go. Ton of fun. Really fun place. They got a new roller coaster coming out. I don't think it's this summer, but maybe next summer, which Madison and I are very excited for. Ty Lee, I did not mention Inception and Interstellar. I have seen both of those, though. Here's my thing. Christopher Nolan, very hit or miss, but I actually really do like Inception. Interstellar, I think I need to see it again. I don't think I don't feel like I really ever appreciated that film entirely, but I actually do really like Inception. It's a weird one. It's a tough watch, without a doubt, but I think it's cool. I'm like, okay, there's some good stuff going on in there. But yeah. Kokui? What's up, my friend? Hi, how's it going? I got a gifted member subscription a few days ago. I don't know who gifted it to me, but thanks. Hell yeah, dog. It might have been Scott and Erica and all those fellas do that all the time. So whoever it was, you guys rock. You're awesome. Connie Cleary is saying I'm with you on Cedar Point. It is so much fun. Oh man, that is the place to, if you love roller coasters, Cedar Point is the place to go. I love like Universal Studios and Disney, like those places are a ton of fun if you love movies especially, but like if you love roller coasters and thrills and like over the top, genuinely like kind of scary shit, Cedar Point, that's the place to go. Brandon is saying I heard the Maverick is the greatest roller coaster. It's up there, man. I think that's one of my favorites. From there for sure. The line is always long. Like you're not waiting under 45 minutes. No way. It's not happening there, but it's a really fun one. I love the Maverick. I have not been on the new the new Top Thrill Dragster, that's brand new. Like they just revamped it. It's a totally different roller coaster. It closed very early into last season, and Madison and I did not get a chance to get on it. But I'll tell you what, that one looks like a lot of fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a few more questions. I think we're signing off. We're going to hop on over to the gaming channel. So again, if you want to keep the stream rolling, stop on by over there. It's going to be fun. We're going to be screaming as ghosts try to kill us because we're trying to repossess a lot of their items in this game. It is insane. Stop on by GullGotha. It's going to be a ton of fun. Bananas Epic Gaming, what is up, Bananas? Saying that everyone is related. Hang on, the chat's flying away from me. The chats are coming in fast. Holy crap! That everyone is related to someone from the disaster from this movie is connected to the main characters from the last 5 movies, and Death is trying to clean up the timeline. We might get more movies. Yes, I think that's what they're trying to do here. You know, I think in terms like with Scream, I think the family thing is just played out. Like they've just gotten to a point where it's like, it just doesn't make any sense for family members to just keep coming out of the woodworks like this. Let's do something else. It feels a little repetitive at this point. With Final Destination, this is a whole new thing. We've cracked open a whole new side to this franchise with this. It's kind of it's weird. It's weird talking so positively about a family twist. It feels like something doesn't feel right in my soul. But it is also a little refreshing. I love it. I think this is a really interesting direction for the franchise to go down, and I think completely reinvents it. Billy Boy is saying, Jake, have you seen the trailer for the new Bumhouse movie? Man, you got them good. You got them good with that insult. Saying called Woman in it's Woman in the Yard, I believe. The Woman in Black is a pretty cool Harry Potter movie. What's his name? Daniel Radcliffe. I think that's what it's called. It looks pretty good, TBH. That's so funny, Billy. You're just like railing Blumhouse. You're like, get wrecked, Bumhouse. And then you're like, this new movie looks pretty good, though. You know, I'm actually excited for this one. Because I'm with you. I think that Blumhouse has missed a lot in the last couple of years with a lot of their newer releases. But I am actually excited for this one. It comes from a director who I really like. I really like the lady playing the woman in the yard, the titular character. Her name is Okwe Okpok-Wasili. Try saying that 3 times fast. She's amazing, though. She gives some really crazy performances live on stage. If you look into her career, it's definitely worth a deep dive, let me tell you. So I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be good. I have a lot of faith in it. Hey, Eric from Smells Like Teen Horror is here. What's up, dude? Saying, I love part 5, but it always feels like an episode of The Office. It does have an office-y vibe to it. You know what? That is very true. I don't think I love the story of 5 as much until we get to the ending. Like, the ending is absolutely, like, the hot spot of that entire film, you know? That's another thing. I think going back through that one again, I'm like, it's good. It's solid. I think it's better than some of the other films. But in terms of like story, characters, I think I just like 2 a little more. And opening scene. I think that's another thing. Not that I don't dislike 5, you know, love that ending is a gut punch. But I agree. I think as time has gone on, 2 is just much more my favorite. One more chat, and then we're hopping over to the gaming channel. We got Mason Snelson. Haven't gotten to Mason yet. I think I got to like almost everybody on this stream. I feel very proud of myself. I just want to say that. I've seen people say they hope this Cat in the Hat Scream 7 release date will be like Rio Scream 4. They basically want the animation to do better, I think. Dude, like, okay, here's my thing, man. Rio did not take away from Scream 4. There's no way. It's just not the same crowd. Scream 4 didn't do good because they just did not do enough marketing for the film. They did like little events here and there. Like I think they showed up at like the MTV Movie Awards or something, right? Like it wasn't like Courtney Cox and Nev Campbell. Like they popped up and they're like, new trailer, haha, or something. I don't know. There just wasn't, the marketing campaign wasn't very good for Scream 4. And you also got to think about where horror was in 2011. Like that was not the focal point of the genre at all. We had moved past Scream entirely. Now Scream is very popular because 90s horror is back in. There's a want for it. We miss it. It's been a long time since 90s horror was really popular. And you know, the early 2010s was just not a time period, I guess, for that. I mean, think about it. We're talking about Final Destination 5. This was the last film in the franchise until Final Destination 6 coming out this year. Why did they stop? You know, just wasn't very popular anymore. The 2010s were much more about, you know, everyone hates this term. I hate it too, but we got to come up with something else, ladies and gentlemen. We got to come up with a different term, but it's much more about elevated horror. Ugh. It makes me want to throw up just thinking about it. I hate that term so much, but I do like a lot of movies that are categorized in this genre, like, you know, It Follows, The Babadook, Hereditary, Midsummer, yada yada. A lot of these films really interesting, big footnotes in horror history here. So that kind of turns into the focal point of 2010's horror, and also some really good just independent films, and some weirder ones out there. Like I love VHS, like Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett flicks from this time period, Radio Silence movies too. There's a lot of really good stuff from the 2010s. I mean, 2010s one of the most underrated time periods in horror. I feel like how nowadays we're so loving of the 2000s horror. That was not listen, when I first started this page, people did not love 2000s horror. I promise you that. There was not the same love for it how there is now. I feel like in another 5 years, people are going to look back on the 2010s and be like, you know what? That was a pretty good time period for horror. That was awesome. There's some good stuff that came out there. So, yes, very good stuff. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are going over to GullGotha to stream a little bit, but thank you for joining. I wanted to talk with you guys about Bloodlines a little bit here because I know we got some videos out, but it's always good to get some opinions from the crowd. I want to hear what everyone else is thinking, of course. So stop on by GullGotha right after the stream. We're going live in less than 30 minutes. And so thank you guys for supporting the page. Thanks for watching the Final Destination videos. There'll be more stuff in the rest of the week. Go on over to GullGotha. Talk to you guys soon. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Bye-bye.